episode 12 of Pentagon for Gold, we play two massive games today. One against SuperSport United and then one in the Cup final against Sundowns. We've got some exciting news. We've managed to set a new record of 30 games unbeaten, which is a team record for Cape Town Spurs. And that's been since Sunday 20th of February. We did lose a couple of friendlies in that time, but aside from that, nothing major. And we also got Matiswa blitzing the record for goals in the league match with his 4 goals against Bloem Celtic, which has just happened, which we won 6-1, and he was phenomenal. He's been in incredible form recently. So as you can see, we last time we played in the Tusker game, I think, and Maritzburg United we beat 3-0 with 2 goals from Matiswa. Swallows we just about scraped through. We deserved to absolutely destroy them in that game, but they equalised as soon as we scored, and then we eventually got a penalty, and then couldn't really build on that for the rest of the game. We then had a slightly unusual game against TTM. We dominated and should have scored about 4 goals, but it just wasn't going in for ages, and then Matiswa scored an absolutely brilliant header before Buchanan really buried the game for us. We then, with an entirely rotated team, basically, we won 6-1 against Tusker in the second leg. Even Luca Diana Oliaro got a run out, which he hasn't really done much this season. They did get 1 goal back, but we were comfortably on top in that. And then another 6-1 victory against Bloem Celtic, in which Masilaga got 2 goals and Matiswa got 4. So today's game we play SuperSport United, who are second in the league. Let's see how they've done with their games. Have they had any losses yet? So they lost to Sundowns, and they lost 5-0 to us in the MTN8 quarter-final. So hopefully another one like that would be nice for us. I assume probably that was a slightly crazy game, but it's certainly a good sign that we could beat them, particularly as we were away in that last one. And then we'll play Sundowns in what is an extremely important game, because the rules of this competition state we would get £800,000 if we win. Not quite sure why the start and end date is 1900, but I guess that's just what the game does sometimes. Because of the unusual scheduling of these games, as you can see, we play in 3 days' time. We've actually just played 2 days ago, so we need to keep our players fit, and as a result we've had to rotate quite heavily for this game. We are playing against Oswin Apollis, who I think wants to leave SuperSport United. He's got beyond the level of the division, so he'd like to go elsewhere now. Mukamela is injured, and Iverson is also coming back from injury, so we've got Lucky Beloy starting at right back. Seedat plays at left back with Buchanan on the right. Shalulele's coming to the midfield, and Riaz Kupstadt starts in defensive midfield with Sandoval getting his first start in the league up front. Let's get into this game. We could really do with a victory here, because this is going to be a tough game, particularly with the amount of rotation we've had to do. But we also want to be able to rotate halfway through the game, probably, or 60 minutes maybe, so that we can keep players fit for the final against Sundowns. And we don't particularly want to be losing any momentum from this, because we're on such a good run at the moment that I feel confident going into every game. But as soon as you get one loss, it can cascade into many, many losses in a row. And this has been a poor start. Oh, that's an unbelievable tackle. I think that was Liam Byrne. What a stop there. And SuperSport have the corner. They're definitely dominating the chances so far. We have got a counter-attack on here. Can Buchanan do something with it? Apollis tackles him. Thought there was a suggestion of a foul there, but apparently not. And now Burns found Fumbidzai. Velapai. I'm very glad I got Velapai back in on loan. He's going to be important for us. And Sandoval scored a beautiful finish. Not a bad way to get your first goal. That's a really nice finish. He sort of lifted it over the keeper. Velapai ran into the opposition, but managed to keep it. Buchanan then found Sandoval on the edge of the box, and one step, and that was all it took. And then he's lifted it beautifully into the top corner. That is our first shot of the game, so a decent bit of clinicality to get us going. If we have a look at the league, currently we're the only team to win every game. Everyone else has dropped some points at least. So who knows, this could be our year. It's obviously a big ask to stay where we are when we haven't played Sundowns, Kaiser Chiefs, Cape Town City, Stellenbosch or Orlando Pirates. For a lot of the lower level teams, and actually Maritzburg United having a shocking season so far. I think they've played quite a lot of big teams so far, so probably a bit of an unfair representation of their team. Ricozzo into Apollos. That's a really good ball into Ruslike. And Apollos again. You can just tell he's too quick and dangerous for this league. Got some beautiful dribbling going on there. And it's back to Apollos again. He's all over the pitch right now. Sibia. And Sedat maybe got a bit lucky that he didn't give away a penalty there. From Bidzai. Plays a 1-2 with Sedat. And it's a poor cross in. Can Koopstad get there? Yes, he can. Velapai into Shulule. This looks dangerous. And Sandoval has scooped it wide. But we're playing okay. Considering this is our second strength 11, really. A couple of players that are usually in our first team. Velapai is definitely one of them. Beloy often plays. Byrne is always in the starting lineup, as is Levenberg. But aside from that, it's mainly rotation players that we're playing today. Velapai somehow kept the ball again. He's getting a little bit lucky with these, but I guess that's what happens when you're a really good player. You get lucky at times. Riaz Koopstad into Velapai again. Sandoval. That's a really good ball for Buchanan, and perhaps he should have done better. It's a decent save from Williams, but he probably should have put it to one side of him. Wow, if you look at the expected goals, we are getting a bit lucky here, but actually we've had probably the better of the chances. They've just had more of them. See that into Velapai. Buchanan headed it over. Not a bad effort. From Bidzai doesn't seem to be playing all that well and is a little bit nervous, I think, which is understandable given it's a big game and it's only 1-0 in our favour. Really good stop from Levenberg there. And see that has cleared it out. Not too much trouble there. This is turning into a good performance. We could do with getting a bit more dominance, but I'm pretty happy with this particular performance that we've got. Oh, this is a little bit difficult because Flemming Iverson's not really fit at the moment, and we don't have anyone that can come on as a defensive midfielder, really. Can Velapai play there? No. Oh, this is a difficult one. I think I'm going to have to get Iverson on and just hope that he doesn't aggravate his injury. Fumbadzai will come off for Norodian, and who else? Perhaps Liam Byrne ought to come off for Rivas. Taking a risk here. Let's hope Iverson's okay. He just twisted his knee in the last game. It was a sort of 3 to 6 day injury. I'd hope that this won't mean that he's more tired for the next game, but 2-0. Perhaps a bit lucky with this, but I'm very happy with this result if it stays like this. Sibia with the corner. Oh, and he set up a grandstand finish as Fleurs. We need to hold on to this, but our players are starting to get a bit tired. Just so many fixtures going on. You can see why the big team struggled last year. Norodian into the box. Rivas has it now. Norodian's got another chance here. Find Sumahoro and Velapai. He's been really dominant today. Shalulale. Velapai again, trying to find a bit of space. And Sandoval, ooh, just curled it wide. Unlucky. It was a good effort. And after this chance, I will definitely slow down the tempo, provided we don't concede here. Shalulale into Sumahoro. Shalulale again. Buchanan's working the space, and Sedat's got a bit of space here. Velapai once again just about keeps on hold of the ball, and probably he should have lost it. Let's lower the tempo and get the time wasting on. Not liking that this chance seems to be continuing. Velapai again. Looked like Norodian might have got injured there, given how far ahead of him that ball went. But here we go, Buchanan with a chance, and somehow he's scooped it in from that angle. That's very impressive from him, making a case to start the final. But I'm a bit worried because Velapai and Buchanan are both very tired, and that's not what you want 3 days before the biggest game, possibly of the save. Well, very good performance. Let's hope we get more of that against Sundowns, and that they will be equally as tired as us. They have actually played even more games in the league, so there's a chance that they'll be just as, if not more tired than us. Very good performance from Buchanan. I thought Velapai was probably the star player. And as you can see, our 30-game unbeaten run continues. That's mightily impressive. So for the second round of the Total CAF Confederation Cup, which is the round before the group stage, we're playing against ASC Giraffe, who are a Senegalese team. Their star player is their goalkeeper, Seydou Ndiaye, who's out of contract. And they've also got two other players, one of whom is out of contract. So hopefully they shouldn't prove too much of a challenge. In other news, I've also got the Manager of the Month, which I don't think I got at all last season, in spite of our good performances. But it's hardly surprising given I've got a 100% win ratio after 5 games, and no one else in the league can say that. Sundowns are second in the league, but they've actually played more games than us, and Stellenbosch are the only other team, as far as I can see, that are on 5 games played. So it's been a really fantastic start to the season, which will hopefully continue with our next game against Sundowns in the MTN 8. As we head into this absolutely massive game against Sundowns, we've got a really strong team out there. Fleming Iverson's fully recovered from his injury. Rivas and Burns start in centre-back, with Mukamela having missed out. Mostilaga's gone to the left-hand side because Narodian's been somewhat mediocre recently, and Keegan Buchanan goes on the right-hand side, having impressed me a lot. Matizwa starts up front in the hopeful expectation of continuing his insane run of form. He's got something like 13 or 14 goals from 6 games so far. So if he can keep going with that, that would be brilliant. So we've had the first shot, but aside from that, nothing much has happened so far. Looks like quite a strong team from Sundowns, which is hardly surprising given the potential prize money on offer. And Matizwa has continued his run. Good work down the right-hand side from Buchanan, and Matizwa was never going to miss from there. But this is a fantastic start. This team is starting to look phenomenal. Honestly, at this rate, we'll be winning the Total CAF Champions League next season. I'd say it's probably unlikely because there's a lot of big teams in Africa outside of South Africa. But wow, we are tearing the South African division apart so far this season. And regardless, 30 games unbeaten is usually enough to get you at least near the top of the league. And the way we've started this season, we haven't looked like we're ever in danger, really. What a start this has been. And now Buchanan can break. They've not got many players back. Can we put it to bed this early? And he's found Mositalaga. This is unbelievable. We are tearing apart the best team in South Africa. A team that should be a lot better than us, but I guess we just have everything going in our favour right now. Keegan Buchanan and Mosius Lager have both been phenomenal this season, but Buchanan, what a signing he's proven to be. I never quite thought he was going to be this good looking at his stats, but I guess that 15 acceleration is probably enough to just make him so dangerous. And Matiz was really taking his game up a level this season. Let's not let them get complacent. Hopefully, yeah, they're all motivated. That's great. You never really want to demotivate them by not giving them any credit for what they've done so far. Yeah, Matizwa, he's been absolutely unbelievable this season. Not great first touch, but really amazing dribbling for this level. And he's a decent finisher. But he's just taken his game up a level from last season. Last season he was decent, but he was a bit hit and miss. This season he's been every single game so dangerous. Oh, and that's an unbelievable block. Koopstad's managed to clear it out. We are looking very good today. I think Velapai coming into the midfield can't be understated as one of the reasons that we're doing so well. Having a player who just is at the upper echelons of the league that you're in is so helpful, particularly at this level, where it doesn't take too much to become a much better team. You don't need a lot of money to do it, and actually we will potentially have a lot of money to work with if we can win here. Let's get Velapai off for Shalulele then, since he's a bit tired. If we somehow fail to win from this position, I would be incredibly disappointed, but we've still got a really strong team out there, so let's hope that doesn't happen. Liam Byrne coming into the defence has also been a really good option. It's really nice having those guys back. We have conceded Erasmus with the goal, But as I was saying, it's so nice to have those guys from season 1 back. It's just a shame that Velapai isn't permanent. Good claim from Levenberg. I was a bit worried there, because if they'd scored again, you'd have fancied them to get back in it. Schlulele here. Matiz was open. Can he get it through to him? He's found Narodian instead, and Narodian's somehow got it back and almost sneaks it into the near post before he manages to catch it and hold on to it. And Narodian's got some kind of injury. Doesn't seem to be too major a problem. Frosler's one of the best players in the division, so we can't give him this much space. Now Huala, and Levenberg's let it scramble through him. That is awful keeping. Let's get some time wasting on. We cannot bottle this from here. Going 3-0 up and somehow losing this game would be awful. And now let's get the time wasting on fully. Come on, lads. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Have we done it? We've done it! There we go. More silverware for the boys. We continue our incredible run. The dynamics of this team, everyone's in such a good mood. Everyone's happy to be here. Everyone's getting on well, really. And I think that's a big part of the reason that we are doing so well in the league. And once you're on this form, until you get that one loss, it's very difficult for other teams to break you down and beat you. And that is quite something for our finances. I'm delighted with that win. And we still haven't lost to Sundowns in this save. Let's see. So we've won that. Narodian's out for 9 to 12 days, not too bad. We've been awarded 800k. Let's have a look at the finances. Oh, it's beautiful. We are in positive finances. Who would have thought that that was possible a year ago when we were struggling and were constantly about $1 million in the red? Phenomenal. And I've entered the South Africa Hall of Fame. Let's have a look who I'm up against. Oh, I don't think I'll be overtaking Pitso Mosiman, who's Sundowns and SuperSport. He was the manager of. In fact, he probably still is. Or it appears he's retired, but he got some very recent PSL wins. Lots of more recent victories from these guys, actually. It's a good mix of managers who've been in the league for a long time and managers who are only recent additions to the league. And actually, we're the second Englishman to make it here. So we can't be far off Jeff Butler, actually. And how far? So if we can get the PSL trophy and then a domestic cup more, we'll probably be in 5th above Stuart Baxter, who's a Scot. So it seems Scottish and English managers do have some success in South Africa. So there's a nice precedent set there. Depending on how quickly we can get through with the continental competitions, I guess that will define whether we can get into the upper echelons of this group. But I reckon if we do win the Total CAF Confederation Cup or the Champions League, which I'm going to stick around until I've won the Champions League here, we could get top of this list. And I would also like to get into the Hall of Fame at number 1 for every position that I end up in, apart from maybe Europe, because that would be quite something, because you have to be there for many, many years. And the aim of this save is just to win every single continental competition, major continental competition at least. Once again, Buchanan shining as the star player in the game. He actually has been in phenomenal form this season. 8 goals and 7 assists from 7 starts and 3 sub-appearances. He is doing incredibly. Didn't score in the MTN8, but did get 4 assists. Admittedly, 3 came in the final. But he's been unbelievable this season. And honestly, I think Narodian might have to fight for his place back in this team. I reckon Mosilaga on the left with Buchanan on the right is our strongest pairing now. He just performs a lot better than Narodian does. Narodian tends to cover up poor performances with penalties. But I guess it's good to have this level of competition for a team like this. And as you can see, we've won the MTN8. We're still in the CAF Confederation Cup. We've got the Telcom Knockout and the Nedbank Cup to start soonish. And the DStv Premiership, we are top of the league, having played 2 fewer games than most of our competitors and 1 fewer game than Sundowns. What a start to the season. This has been incredible. Knox Matizel with an 8.47 rating in the league. How's he doing overall? He has 14 goals and 3 assists in 10 appearances. He's averaging a 7.76 in his last five games. His average rating, I don't know why it goes so far out, is a 7.77. In fact, all of our average ratings, if you look at them, are very impressive, really. Fullback's a little bit lower. Koopstad a little bit lower, I suspect that's because of the red card, but everyone else is averaging really good ratings. Hardly surprising when we're doing this well. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that, and I will see you next time. In the meantime, I hope you have a great day and a great week.